Welcome to Business Leaders Forum. I'm your host, Angelique Ruers. Almost $93 billion was spent in corporate training last year, and an astonishing 90% of it was forgotten within 30 days. And 70% of that happened within just 24 hours, according to a recent LinkedIn article. But that doesn't have to be the case, says our next guest, Alicia Couri, the CEO of Audacious Concepts, Inc. She's here to share 3 top reasons L&D training programs fail to make a lasting impact and what your organization can do to recapture that ROI. Alicia, there are some astonishing statistics that you just shared. You say that companies need to stop spending on training and development programs until they understand 3 critical issues. What are those 3 critical issues?
Yes, Angelique. So companies can ill afford to get this wrong with hiring and retention rates the way they are right now. The 3 critical things that I believe that companies need to know: 1, they need to understand how people learn and what action they're going to take from the training. 2, the training just doesn't go deep enough. And 3, there's no context given between the training and the strategy that the business is pursuing, so people feel lost.
So let's start with the first one that you identified. Is there really a way to know how people are going to take action? Wouldn't we just be guessing or making an assumption about that?
Yes, there's a way that we can know, and to assume would be completely wrong. So let's not assume how people will take action. So buried within the subconscious mind is this conative part of the mind that really can give us the data on how people will take action on any information that they're given.
I think you just gave us a new word that many of us haven't heard before, conative, the conative mind. Tell us more about that.
Yeah, so there are 3 distinct faculties of the mind that operate as one. So everyone knows about the cognitive mind, right? That's our thinking mind, how we process, how we gather knowledge. Then there's the affect or emotional mind. So, that's our feelings. And then there's that conative mind. And so the conative mind is when we're problem solving and striving, and that's in the subconscious mind. And that tells us about our drives, our subconscious commitments, and our innate instincts for doing things.
Is that why certain people seem to always show up the same way?
Yes, we have definite patterns on how we show up and how we take action, and that's what the conative part of the mind does.
You also mentioned that training often doesn't go deep enough. I imagine that's also part of what you've been getting at in terms of explaining this conative side of our mind.
Absolutely. So that's part of it, that there is not that great understanding about that conative piece. So when they design training that's not aligned with the conative part of the mind, it's, there's more likelihood of someone forgetting it because they're not going to take action. So when we don't understand that, whether someone is going to jump in and take action or they're going to resist the training. We don't know if they need more information, or maybe they need a system before they can take action. And then the other part of that is that companies need to allow us as consultants, as coaches, to really go deep to the root of the issue, so that we can design training that's paced and spaced to give people an opportunity to really digest what they're learning.
That is such a big issue. Companies often invest to work with the best consultants, the best coaches, the best outside advisors, and then often really hamstrung the consultants and don't allow them to do their best work because they don't give them the freedom to go deep.
To allow us to do that discovery, to really understand what is at the root of the issue that you're you're having, a lot of times I get a question, can you come in and do a quick training? We're having this issue with communication. Just come in and give us a training on communication. And then they expect a 90-minute training to solve all their complex communication issues, and it's not going to happen that way.
So something you said earlier that I'd like to go back to, you mentioned a third reason that training doesn't work. Explain to everyone what you mean by misalignment between a people strategy and a business strategy. How can leaders make sure their training is aligned?
Yeah, so that's when I was talking about context. So there's people strategies are often missed when businesses are thinking about their corporate strategy. What do we want to achieve? How are we going to do it? And they don't really consider who is going to execute on these things. So they'll say, okay, we need a training for our managers on communication. Well, how does that align to the strategy of the business, like your goals and your objectives, to the people and to the training? So there are some gaps missing in between there that we need to look at what those are and then create the training to fill the gaps.
At the outset of our conversation, you said something that was really intriguing about organizations having an opportunity to recapture return on investment, ROI. What did you mean by that?
That's a great question, because if they still have access to the training, so you put your people through a training and you still have access to that training, how about understanding their conative mind? Like taking some of these assessments, especially if they're in leadership, taking some of these assessments and then having them take the training again from a different perspective, because now they understand how they're going to take action on this training. So that's one way to recapture the ROI. Now, some companies may not have that to invest to redo the training again. So what I would suggest is we have this complimentary diagnostic that they can go to our website, audaciousconceptsinc.com, and it can really help them understand their talent optimization plan. So how optimized is your talent? So you can go through that free assessment and then take a screenshot of your results and contact us, and we can kind of help you understand what you should be doing next, and that can help in the future to make sure that you're capturing that ROI. Because right now, as companies are hiring for aptitude and training for skills, they can't get this wrong anymore. They're wasting too many resources on just throwing training at their people and hoping it sticks.
Given how much money they are spending on this and how much time and energy, you have really shared some amazing golden nuggets with everyone to make sure they're getting the most out of those investments. Alicia, thank you so much for being here with us. And if you want your next people development programs to stick and create lasting transformation and massive ROI for your organization, contact Alicia and her team at audaciousconceptsinc.com. And while there, take the free diagnostic of your company's talent. Alicia, thank you again.
Thank you.